Hi everybody, Army P here again for Explorminate.net, and welcome to our Let's Try at Tyranny, a new RPG made by Obsidian. Now, if you remember from last episode, what we did was we finally met the two Archons of the Kairos' army, and kind of like the generals of the evil armies, leading the Dishonored, or the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus. Graven Ash and the Whispers of Narat. So what they've decided to do is they're going to take the Veteran's Well Citadel, where they have been stalled for several months. And we're now going to dive into it and see what we can do, maybe small little subquests along the way that can help. Welcome back. What it is that you need? I'm here for about the missing Earthshakers. Yes, they're nowhere to be found. If you have the energy or attention span to track them down, I'm sure we'd be much obliged to have our mages back. I'll lend a hand. Could you? I know that Tunon agents wouldn't fail us from the time of need. I'll mark the last known site of the Earthshaker's reinforcements on your map. Good hunting, Fatebinder. Cool. So let's just check. No, not interested in talking with you too much. You seem like a nice guy and all, but I've got stuff to do and people to see. The battles of Echo's Crossing. Echo's Crossing must be taken before Kairos forces compressed into their attack into Veteran's Well Citadel. Help the disfavored, subdue the rebels, and control. No, it's not what we want. This is what we're looking for. Radric, the leader of the Earthshakers, has been summoned from the Stone Sea to reinforce the Earthshakers already in the valley. However, there seems to be no sign of them since the valley has been sealed. You agreed to investigate the last known location of these reinforcements and learn their fate. Okay, looks like we've got a nice little side quest. I'll take that. And this is Iron Marshal Enreñas. Okay. Don't coddle the impact. Push back with your shield. Take the momentum. I said eyes on the opponent's waistline. If you spend more than a glance checking his footwork, you've lost. Need to stay on top of these troops or their skills will rust. It's for their own good, even if they don't believe it. Alright, so you mentioned you were short on warriors and need help. What's the situation? I have brigades amassing along the Placid, Eco Call, and Little Tooth crossings, and the vanguard may be able to hold one bridge, but they cannot hold against a concerted three-pronged attack. I have no right to give you orders, but we'll all die to Kairos' edict if we fail. So I'm not about to let my pride blind me to the value of good help. Very well, she asked, quite, with some dignity and some humility, so I'll assist her. Then she says, our plan might work. We load the work with those who don't share our training and our values, but we know that Tunon, the adjudicator, selects only the most capable minds from his court, and I trust that you will honor all of this in the field. Ento has been sent to charge at Eco Call Crossing. Assist you will be Barrick from the Stone Shields. She points to a heavily armored soldier standing sentry at the edge of the training field. Before you ask, know that forge bounds weren't sloshed on displeased or Dappleseed to fit his armor. He survived a full force of the Edict of Storms, and his armor doesn't really come off. Technically, it's quite brilliant, but otherwise, it's somewhat of a curse. So she's telling me that whoever's going to be helping me out has had some type of accident, and armor is now fused to his body. The warrior steps to you, better resembling an amalgamation of rusted blades and mismatched pieces of armor, fused into a vaguely human shape. He reeks of sweat, feces, and whatever oil treatment keeps him flexible. Wow. What can you say? I'm glad I'm not sitting next to that guy in a theater.
The Iron Marshal has tasked me with keeping you alive, and I have no intention of disappointing her. That should be enough assurance for anyone.
Barrick, Barrick, is that you under there? I had no idea you were in Vendrian's well. Fatebinder, do you know this walking anchor?
Wait a minute. Looks like Verse and Barrick know each other. And I'm gonna say that. Just a minute, you two know each other?
Oh, that is to say, yes. I'm already as familiar with this ironclad halfwit as I care to be.
All
I don't
right.
have time to trade jabs today, Verse. After the siege, you can throw as many tantrums as you please. I suggest that we remain focused on the mission.
No offense to the mission, but seeing you looking like a garbage heap and reeking of a mass grave is more amusing by far. Did you forget how to don your armor, or did Graven Ash leave you out in the rain?
Wow. That's some serious insults, I guess. Back in the day. I mean, there might be a whole bunch of Scarlet chorus behind them going, damn. Okay, well, I don't think that we've been acquainted, that's what I'll say.
It's challenging enough to experience battle from a courtroom, much less remember the faces of your cohorts. I wouldn't expect you to know me under these accursed blades of rust.
Yeah, I don't know you. The Fatebringer will be joining us shortly to push across the river. I figure an extra hand might be help. Though more importantly, if my worries come true and the chorus decides to impede the mission, we will have an observer from the courtroom on our side.
Better to work with the honorable Binder than some chorus children.
I ask that Barrick accompany you there to arbitrate the cooperation between the company and the Scarlet Chorus. Right. Barrick, you have been without a cohort since the last battle at Stalwart. It's time that we gave up a task more worthy than hauling wagons and leading training drills. Ash has assigned you to the Fate Binder's service. You're to assume his task is ongoing until we find a more permanent spot for you, which could very well mean the swift approaching end to this war, or when the Fate Binder dismisses you. Is that understood? I suppose I could work on Bo's company, the renowned Mage Slayer. I have seen how he treats I have seen how this one treats any upstarts who fail to recognize the benefits of Kairos' peace. Although, I would much rather attend to my duties here. That is, unless you're serious about the change of site in Iron Marshal. That's an order, Barrick. He can be stubborn as pulling a spire out of the earth, but he's a good soldier, and I hope you don't mind the company. I'm honored to have somebody from the Iron Legion on my side. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to say. So now we've got Barrick. So Barrick.
I live for the vanguard.
Yes, you do. Okay, we're going to double click him because now we're going to be able to show you, ta-da, leveling up and how it works in Tyranny. So you can see here I've got Barrick, who's had some type of terrible accident where armor has now been fused to his skin. The only reason I'm laughing is because the description in the actual bar down below made specific note that he smells like sweat, oil that he's putting all over, I'm guessing leather pieces that connect certain pieces of armor together, or something directly on his armor so it doesn't rust. But they actually went out of their way to tell everybody that Barrick smells like feces, meaning that wherever he's deciding to go doesn't have a little access port, which is just a horrible thought. So anyway, this is the level up system. So we've gone into the character sheet, and you can see here I could depict from one of 6 attributes that will, of course, increase every level and make your character more powerful depending on how you want to spend these points. So I think I'm going to go with, probably this is Might, and this is going to be 9% attack and ability strength and 9 endurance and defense. And because Barrick is going to be my tank, it's important to give him as much health and attack power as I possibly can. Now that being said, I think what I'm going to do is, looks like I've kind of got 2 different talent trees to follow. I've got the Punisher, which is probably a standard DPS type character. DPS being damage per second in case the lingo kind of falls flat like a hockey puck. Or we're going to do a Sentinel, which is definitely much more like a traditional protective tank if you've ever played an MMO. And he basically has skills surrounded by that make him more powerful in terms, or not more powerful, but make him be able to absorb a lot more damage. The way that the armor works in this is you can, if I have an armor rating of 5 and you hit me for 10 damage, I only absorb 5 of that damage because the armor takes that other bit away, right? So you want your Sentinel to be very high in its armor rating. You want to be able to take lots of damage and engage and hold the aggro from various different enemies at any given time. Not much has changed that on from, let's say, Pillars of Eternity. So I'm going to take this ability, the Clash of Iron, and it taunts for 6.5 seconds. And basically in challenges and an invitation challenging enemies to attack Barrick. Okay, that's what you're going to get there, Superboy. Okay, we're good to go. So we've got 2 primary quests. Not going to do that. And I think what we're going to do is going to head out of Dodge and see what the camp of the Scarlet Chorus has to say. Just trying to see if there's anything in here. Yeah, it looks like there's a couple goodies that we're going to grab along the way. Nice set of merchant boots. Why not? I'll probably sell that for a pretty coin somewhere. Looks like we can't get through our subterfuge, which is kind of our, ability to pick locks, view traps, and I think we kind of explained that before. Okay, so we should be on our way. One of the things you'll notice is my characters are running pretty darn quick, and you'll notice at the top of the bar here I got fast mode activated. It's an option that was introduced in Pillars of Eternity. Again, I can't unlock that. It just basically makes your characters run faster, but as soon as you get into combat, normal speeds resumes. Okay, we're going to go to the Scarlet Chorus camp. Takes us 2 hours to get there. Why not? And look at this. Our path has been blocked by a small group of vanguard who can go no further until you deal with them. Huh. The vanguard. They are no match for our Barrick, the new tech, and Verse. Two that have got quite the history behind them. I don't know. What's this all about?
That's far enough, Fatebinder.
She's got aquamarine body paint, and if you remember, that was a whole bunch of water mages that we took down, I think in the Bastard City even.
Tunon sends us the Queenslayer. The old judge has a sense of humor, I'll give him that.
Well, this, she doesn't seem very happy to see me because I'm Queenslayer. But even my enemies know of my axe, which is pretty cool.
You don't know me, but you knew my masters in their final days. I'm told that you and Binder Rogalis arranged for them to die in battle, rather than be fed to the voices of Nerat. A proper duel means something to my people. Thank you for giving my loved ones honor in their final moments.
She's referring back to the point when I gave, when I challenged, I think that she's referring to that, when you gave Karn permission to destroy the Tidecaster, most agreed the battle would be a demoralizing message for the rest of the tiers, correctly guessing that the fight would be a one-sided affair given Karen's power and resilience. The Archon of Stone reported that the old Tidecasters fought with pride and valor, most destroyed in the catastrophe, damaged their own desperate final spells. Okay.
In accordance with ancient customs north and south, I offer and request a delay of blade. There are matters we must discuss without fear of reprisal.
Oh. So she wants to speak. Figures I'm some type of diplomatic messenger as a Fatebinder, eh? Very well, I'll listen to what she has to say. She has offered the blue flag of diplomacy. Okay, in accordance with ancient customs north and south, I abide by this truth.
We are ready to kill to defend our lands, but we kill only in fair battle. We don't slay our prisoners. We know this isn't Kairos' way, but we must have hope. A few of my kin have gone missing, and though they may have perished, I have to inquire on the off chance they still live. If Captain Tarkus Deimos still lives, we would negotiate for his release.
Deimos, I think he's no longer living. So what can I do? You can see I've got 7 different options here. I don't want to, but it's still below me negotiating. Even if this Deimos was even alive, I don't want to negotiate with her for its prisoner's relief. I've got I'm in the midst of trying to get them killed by taking the spire. Or sorry, the citadel. I wonder what she's going to say about if I tell him he's dead.
See. That is as I feared, but thank you for telling me all the same. I prefer closure to wishful thinking. If I may make one more inquiry. What of Palox Tyrell? Did he survive?
Another dead Oathbreaker. Whoever will ask about next, I assure you, nothing can be done.
Fatebinder. I had a terrible feeling this errand was in vain from the start. I had no expectations that our friends could be saved, as I'm sure the time for swapping prisoners is long gone. But at least I know of what became of them. That'll have to be enough. Then I will take no more of your time. Apologies. We will depart at once.
So, and this is interesting. So she's part of the vanguard, and you'll notice that when I told her to basically beat it, and I wasn't interested in talking to her anymore, her name is Ebb. You'll notice that my reputation with her went down. So that means that, if I was to read this correctly, you've actually got currently have 3 different factions all pining for your attention very early on in the game. We of course got the Archon of War, Graven Ash, who loads the disfavored. They're one faction. You've got the Whispers, or the Secrets of Narat, who he is a leader of the Scarlet Chorus, and now you've got the Vedrian Guard, the Rebellion, the reason that we're even here, you know, pieing and trying to get your attention. So this is one of the things that Obsidian does really well, and it's a very good faction system. When they're able to build it around the core of their game, you can tell that it's going to be something kind of special, with lots of different intrigue and gray areas between these factions as you try to negotiate it. So this probably wasn't well talked about, because I know that I was looking up at the game and I was keeping my eye on it. I think everybody talked about how there was only just 2, but I really think there's far more than that as I stuck to dive deeper into this game. But for the time being, in the character that I'm playing right now, we're very much onto the side of the order that the disfavored brings, and we're loyal to Graven Ash. So we'll tell these 3 to beat it, and we'll see them in the fields of battle.
Graven Ash protects.
Yes, he does. Okay, we're going to continue on to the Scarlet Chorus camp. We've got 32 minutes. That's where we're going to head. Looks like there's some type of ruckus. Let's see what the ruckus is up here. It proves everything. A warrior slams her fists together in a resounding clap. Like, for instance, whether you're fit to lead that flock of children. Did you not hear the news of the edict? This is a foolish distraction. We ought to be saving our fight for the enemy. I'm interested in this. Okay, what's the problem here? Oh, no problem here, Lord Binder. Captain Guy. Sorry, this, we typically don't swear on this channel. That's the reason why I just jammed that up. Sorry. Okay. We keep our language pretty PG in this game, in this channel, and sometimes we get off. I may have to put a little bit of disclaimer that it does have suggestive language, but this game does have swear words in it. It's designed for a mature audience. It's not meant to, I think it has a Peggy 13 rating. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's the very least you have to understand that the way it's written and the vulgar nature of some of the language is in context. It's never for the sake of being vulgar. It's all in the, you know, to accentuate whatever they're, you know, trying to specifically come across with their message. But that being said, I will try not to repeat it, just in case you're at work or you have small children around. If you don't really care, then it shouldn't matter to you at all. So anyway, because Captain Superwit here seems to be talking about the bulk of the challenge, thinks just because he used to run a ship, he's qualified to run a gang. I'm calling him out, because the way I see it, his warriors ought to follow me and not his new blood. Captain Superwit was my father. Superwit will do just fine. If you have to prove our strength, we'll do it happily. But I'll have your hands and feet removed, and the rest of you kept just for my own use. Wow, that's a horrible thought on both ends of the spectrum. Allow me to join. I like a good bloodbath. Be my guest. I've always wanted to see a Fate Binder in action. Prepare yourselves. I'll be defending. I'm gonna fight for Quiet Shiv. I like the idea of fighting for the girls because they're the most vicious in this, the lore in this game. Okay, here we go. You can see the difference between the Scarlet choir already. They're, vicious, almost chaotic type army versus the very regimented and trained disfavored. In the meantime, we're gonna go into some battle. Looks like we've got quite a few on the go here, so let's try to use our new taunt ability.
Come at me, grave meat.
Grave meat, that's awesome. Alright, here we go. I carry on with oh no, I don't want that. We're gonna hit him with a shocking grasp, and hopefully young Barrick here has been able to do the proper engagement. Oh, perfect. Okay, everybody. Ooh, looks like I've been wounded. Was I wounded from... no, I actually think I was wounded from before, but no matter. We're going to attack this guy with our combination. And boom! Super combination has hit down and crushed their enemies beneath our feet. We're going to use an ability. No, yeah, again with the language. I'm sorry, Versus got a really potty mouth. Like, more potty than you'd think.
I'd have it no other.
Ah, come on now. I thought I'd be getting some type of treasure. Well, maybe it's just whatever he's got on him. Which is unarmed DPS. Gauntlets of unarmed DPS. I don't know. Nobody seems alarmed by the fact that I just killed 3 of their people. These are chorus grounds. State your business or get lost. Past this point is the chorus territory, and you don't look like someone's conscript. You sure you're in the right place? My name is Chaladin, Fate Binder of Tunon, and I'm here to help vanquish the Oath Breakers. Oh, I think I was told to expect somebody, but seems too ugly to be him. What exactly should I let you in? They don't like me very much. And more importantly, what's this hulk of ton of iron doing here? The guard gestures to Barrick with a sneer. Like, my options are he's an allied warrior from my guard, and I don't want to make an issue of this. And that's exactly what I'm going to say. Fine, just come in. I'm just the Fury. I'm sure the Fury will gut you if you're really a problem. Yeah, probably. But I'm hanging around with Verse. You'd think that I get a little bit of reputation there. Okay. What do we got here? Filthy mongrels, he says. What does he have to say? The Fifth Eye must authorize all prisoners' visits. The Fifth Eye, who's he? If I can get the death knell here. You! As much an accusation as a question, the broad-shouldered woman shakes her head with a scowl. So, you're Tunon's Fate Binder. I was expecting something more impressive. And I am not impressing anybody in this game right now. Well, at least not on the the Scarlet Chorus side. Let's get one thing clear. Stick to your words and your law and leave the fighting to the grown adults. Your corpse would just be a tripping hazard for all of us having a proper bit of carnage sport. We've got enough useless twats dying in our name as it is, with the horde recruits with all our horde recruits seem good for of late is piling up stuff-reeking mounds on the battlefield. Boy, I'm going to be very careful here with the language. Keep up. Now we'll toughen our recruitment standards. Now what do you need? He says something about horde thinning? Swelling until it's thundering and then crashing, then receding. It's been a way of course for as long as it's been in. We take our prisoners alive and give them a chance to live, to be reborn into something better. Putting any and every able body to the sword is like Sort like the disfavored to do nothing but a waste. A conquered enemy is but a new ally. It merely requires proper coercion or coercion. Of course, blah 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 blah. Of course, we do sometimes have problems of lingering loyalties. Deserters are rarely successful in their escape, but they do try. And the vanguard, strengthened by their numbers, blood ties, have been particularly stubborn. So I have a better plan hatched. Oh, what would that be? I'm thinking we're going to redouble our efforts to recruit settlers, focusing on unaligned and unsuspecting, instead of the flourishing ourselves to the gills with oath breakers claimed from the battlefield. Well then, what's your plan to convince them, I wonder? A knife point has sufficed well enough in the past, but you inspired me to try something more diplomatic, more of a diplomatic approach this day. What do you say, Binder? You might be able to ease them into the idea and save the lives of your friends and neighbors in the process. If it means expending to the end of this meandering conflict, so be it. Yeah, I've got to worry about this giant spell that's going to be cast on everybody in 8 days. So yeah, if this hurries us along, I'll take it up. Okay, she marked the settlement on her map. Okay, farewell. That's interesting. Okay, in the meantime, we're going to go and see Fifth Eye. Oh, what's this over here? Read scroll. Learn spell core of illusion. Perfect. We'll pick up that later when we go to enhance our magic. Now, this is Fifth Eye. I'm guessing he is my link to this whole area of the Scarlet Chorus camp. The binder of Tunon arrives, the squealing with teenager timbre. The Fifth Eye's voice makes your gums itch and your fingernails feel like they need a trim. Yeah, that is a great description. And we just finished having a bit of sport with some captives, but worry not. We'll have more fun when another batch arrives momentarily. You have come here to order the Scarlet Chorus to die so that the disfavored might live. This is how it was played back in the Verlennium Citadel, after all. Typical reasoning of a northernman, disfavored lives matter more than conscripts, no? Now that we have issued this edict and doomed us all to die, have you come to help us climb out of this hole? Yeah, I'm going to say I trust your warriors ready for battle. We know the Oathbreaker are focused in the Citadel beneath the mountain spire, and we have learned that this is not their only nest. Given their patterns of attacks, there must be a second group maintaining camp in the outer valley. Unless we deal with the second group, they attack from behind the moment we cross the river. That seems like a problem. I wonder who will be able to solve it. The last group of scouts return with a new batch of prisoners, and one of these prisoners claims that they can lead us to the vanguard's second camp, though there's shreds of deception in her voice. I could use your help questioning this Varal Kel. Perhaps will get less screams and tears and more useful information out of her. If we knew where they ambushed the Oath Breakers, we could try and take their captain and show them the wisdom of joining the chorus. Very well. I'll talk to him. See what he has to say. I'm guessing these prisoners right here are all wrapped up. It's not like they're going anywhere. So Varal Kel, what does she have to say? Oh, yes. Please, someone, I wish to bow before the voice of Nerot. The voice. I keep thinking the Visper. Anyway, the voices of Nerot. I thought we could find redemption in the chorus. This one was hollering earlier that she knew the location of the Vanguard encampment, but she hasn't been entirely honest. I told this thing that I wanted to guarantee that I'd live and be welcomed into the chorus as a captain. Then I'll talk. Otherwise, they'll just kill me once I've opened up. I was dumb enough to join with the Varandian Guard, but I'm not dumb enough to give away my only bargaining bronze. Very difficult to play from a position of power when you have none. You claim to have disavowed your people to the Scarlet Corps. Why change your heart? That's a good question. Because I wanted to live. I don't need to be an archon of premonitions to know that the younger realms are gone for good. Kairos is the new strength of the tiers, and I'd rather stand with the archons than be crushed by them. Alright, tell me what you know. I've heard the chorus is looking for Captain Florian and his crew. I can lead you to them, but only if you release me. Oh yeah, that sounds like no problems at all. Fifth Eye is piped up. He says, but the Archon said, and I get to interrupt him and say, shove Fifth Eye, by letting him know that I'm onto a ruse here. The Archon of Secrets has most unusual power. You're about to see it up close. She says, what? Please, no, please, I've heard no one returns from those interrogations. I'll tell you, but, and she lets out a sigh. I don't really know where they are, but I do know, but I know to find them. Search that one. The tall one, missing most of his face. Check his left boot. He was illiterate. He was the only one illiterate in our crew, and he had orders. With a snap of a finger, the pair of choirmen yanked a boot off the fallen guardsman, and a rolled parchment slides out of the boot and thrust into the fifth eye's hands, and he unfurls the scroll and give it a read. This is nonsense. Just mashed words. If she had information, she'd give it us garbage. Slay this wench for wasting our time. Make the cut shallow. Give her time to regret toying with me. The Scarlet Fury slices open Vrai's neck, pinning her against the resting post. The Varangian guard soldiers thrashes and frails for several long moments before bowing her head in death. Damn. Being a bad guy ain't no joke. Not for the faint-hearted either. We're no closer to finding the Oathbreaker's position, not with this cryptic mess. She promised us answers, and she gave us was gibberish.
Sorry to interrupt, but I highly doubt it's gibberish. More likely, it's one of the local scripts.
Oh, now this is what you're talking about. When you got one prisoner who's promising one thing and another prisoner promising something equal of value. The voice comes from another prisoner tied up next to Varal. An older gentleman with his quill ink vials and parchment scrolls one finds on the sage of the School of Ink and Quill. The ink smudges covers his cheeks, temples, and ears. His clothes appear charred, and between the rips of the fabric you spot burn scars along his arms. Despite being emancipated and tied to a post, he offers a rather beaming smile. Alright, I'll show him the parchment and say, can you read this?
Well, let me see. I can't... So, I don't know exactly what it says, but I'm half certain that's Sage Selwyn's handwriting. I'm sure I could decipher that in a few hours' time. Don't need my hands free, but I think better when not tied to a post. I know, I'm weird that way.
So, you can already tell that this sage is actually he seems like quite the charmer. He's making me laugh anyway. Like, by law, I probably should be interrogating him by taking off his fingernails or doing something horrible to the inside of his eyelids, but I'm kind of intrigued. The Fifth Eye says, a few hours? Either you read it or you cannot. What use is a sage that doesn't know his letters? I heard all I need to hear. I say we have some fun with this one. Oh, geez, I don't know. I'm kind of digging this guy. Can't hurt to give him a few hours. You read the edict. I don't need to tell you that the Sundial is working against us, and this addled old bag is just trying to stall. I really want to save this guy. I wonder how I can be able to do that. Untie him, give him a chance to translate. Are you giving orders, Binder? Does look like Tunon's court. Last I checked, the only Archon of Secrets can tell me what to do with a prisoner. The Crimson Spear pounds his staff in the ground. If this old man wants freedom, we shall give him a fair shot at a trial.
I beseech you, be my advocate for this trial. I'm no fool. I know the chorus uses blood, not words, to settle these matters. But you are a servant of the Archon of Justice, are you not?
Yeah, I'll be champion for him. I'll see what kind of trial I have to go between the Scarlet Chorus, because I want to see, I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to translate this parchment.
I like it when Tunon's puppies get their paws dirty.
Head up first.
I wouldn't mind taking a swing at some loudmouth chorus braggarts myself.
You're awesome, Barrick. Okay. I've gave her the favor, the Scarlet Chorus. Apparently me challenging and willing to do this the old-fashioned way with brute force is the way that the Scarlet Chorus digs the way they do things. Right. I've got this all worked up to fight the enemy. I venture a war would be over by now. Begin the chant of gathering. Let the warriors know that tonight's entertainment will soon commence. Okay. Brothers and sisters, who among us you sets the standard for strength? Who among you will help winnow and the weak from the strong? All right, looks like we're gonna have to battle our way out of here. But it looks like this guy with those quills and the parchments are actually going to be battling with us. Our claimants have been assembled. Now the trial of the Oathbreaker to begin. Okay, we're right into the battle. Okay, let's see what we got here from Senior Lantry, his name is. Lantry? Lantry. That's what we're going with, Lantry. Okay, yeah, he's definitely a healer. He's got 2 different healing abilities, so that's exactly what we needed. We got our tank, we got 2 DPS, and a healer. Not to break anybody's hopes or dreams about this, but it is pretty damn atypical. What am I doing here? I need 3. I want to get the AoE taunt from all 3 of them here. I'm going to attack this. No, I think we're going to do our special ability. I don't want you particularly busy, so that will be that. I don't want to use this ability on the person. I like using the cooldown ability of blood-soaked stone, which Chatelaine and Verse can do together in the single count. And it looks like we're doing the spell of renewal, which gives us plus 5 armor per piece of armor worn and 1 arm penetration.
I think we're bad at making friends.
Oh wow, he just eliminated. I love that double attack. It's so powerful. We're able to grease this guy up pretty darn quick. Okay, we're gonna take him out. Frost beam. Get this one who's currently trying to attack poor Barrick from behind. And I think we're gonna buff up Barrick at the same time here. Perfect. Verse, where are you going, girlfriend? Don't know where she's headed, but she makes me nervous sometimes. Okay, we're gonna mop up this last one who's attacking Barrick from behind while he's going from the forward. We're actually looking like we're doing pretty darn good. Perfect. Ooh, look at that. Barrick just gibbed somebody pretty harsh. So all we got left is the archer who's at full, but poor Lantry's currently on fire. Poor guy. Alright, we're gonna issue a little bit of healing. I'm going to do my frost bolts. And what have we got? Verse, you're going to continue what you got to do. And same with you, Barrick. Get up and close and personal.
I will aid you.
Oh, she's not attacking Barrick anymore. Let's see if we can't do this one. Ooh. Lantry's on fire right now, so he's just making a... He's just dancing around on fire. It's actually quite a little funny. Okay, what do we got? Oh, wow. Mopped them up pretty good, but unfortunately we did take a wound on Barrick. By the righteous shedding of blood we have found our answer. Regrettably, it appears the sage is worthy of leaving our camp alive. You are free to go, old man. Brag to your grandkids that you fell foul to the cower, yet lived to tell the story. Now let's see if this old man was worth the effort. That is actually true. Gracious fate binder. I am humbled that you would put yourself at risk for me. I assure you, you have my full obedience and my cooperation. I thought I'd die tied to that post. And hand me the parchment, I'm certain I can decipher it. Well, much of the parchment was weathered, but I could make out the important parts of the text. The note mentions a meeting at a spot west of Triple Nettle. So the old sage knows the words after all. I'd ask that you travel ahead and see if you can get Captain Florier to yield to the chorus. We will strike at first sight of Chorus's gang, but perhaps you will parley if yours was the face that they see. I know the area and suggest that we go at once. I'll show you the way. I'm eager to be far away from the stench of this camp. All right. What are you offering? You're offering to come with me? Why? Because the alternative is what? Living with these illiterate brutes? My old study is under a river of fire, and I have no family missing from me. Alright, fine, if you're so eager, come with me. And my loyalty with Lantry has gone up. Okay. Alright everybody, so we've gotten, our first basic setup of crews. We've got our main tank and Barrick, our main character of Chatelain, our DPS of Verse, and a new our healer Lantry, who is a sage from the Quill and Ink and Quill gang that I actually helped directly by destroying myself. And yeah, and then we've got a whole bunch of quests and to help basically weaken the Oathbinders as we start to prepare to go for the final push into the Citadel. I think this is where we're going to end this episode. What we're going to do in the start of the next one is start to complete all these side quests and put them all together and see how that all plays out with the different options that we can take. So this has been Army P playing Tyranny as a new game from Obsidian. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.